Okay, hey people, it's the 29th of October and it's another day at the market. Today, I must say it's actually a really good day in the market, but one that is pretty strange, I will say. It's actually one for the ages, I've got to say. But first and foremost, let's just see where or how did the day unfold. And let me just quickly share my screen, actually. I mean, I wouldn't exactly call it surprises. It's just one of the fun day, really. And a few things were, you know, they, should I say, created a bit of confusion for me, I would say. I can't really call today, but anyway, as usual, let's just look at the cues. I mean, I was just checking out this stuff. So we'll quickly look at the cues and the spine. So of course, it does look like the market is still up today. Yes, it was up, absolutely. But there's a few things I could call. Keep stretching this line. We are up by, of course, by a lot. The market has been, it's just an insane bull market. And we are up, of course. However, speaking of something strange about today, today is one of those days, even though the market is up, but it kind of felt a bit like some sort of a rug pull, really, because sorry, it felt like a rug pull, really, because the internals were not reflecting the same thing that was happening in the market. And in fact, I do have some form of statistics today, which says that, today was the S&P's worst breath day ever for an up day. So yes, the market was up, but the internals, the other constituents were not up at the same rate. Since 1990, the S&P has never had a weaker breath on a day that is closed positive. So the index closed up 0.23% with a net advanced decline line of minus 294. There were 104 stocks up and 398 stocks down. Yes, so generally the market is up, but the majority of the stocks were down. So if you look at this is what we had today. It's the worst breath for an up day ever. Um, and as you can see, the market breath. But what does that mean? What does that tell us? I think this has got to do with the with I think it's the ETF effects. So we've got a few major corporations which just pull the market up. So while major, the numbers as volume were down, but a few key ones, I mean, were the ones who are or will push the market up. So as you can see there, Apple all-time high, and these guys are setting up for tomorrow. Meta, look at that, inching, pushing back up as well. I think Microsoft also had an amazing news, amazing run. Look at that, closing exactly all-time high. Um, not particularly interested in Netflix today, but one thing today is boom. This is the market today. NVIDIA broke all-time high. And why or how did that happen? A few things actually. We had a few news. We had NVIDIA collaboration with Nokia. They have collaboration with, name that stock, CrowdStrike, AUR, Palantir. It's just spreading the juice. But let's quickly look at Nokia. And this actually, it just felt like someone compared it to Trudeau and Katy Perry having an affair. Well, sorry, not exactly, dating, seeing each other, not exactly an affair, but that's what I mean. So, of course it's not open, but there you go. Okay, so if you look at this right now, this is an not exactly an all-time high. This is an amazing escape for Nokia, because what I just said was, look at that. This guy is right here in 2010. They can finally come out. So it's just so Nokia just had a 15-year break, but we'll see how it goes. I think what did the I like the way it was coined by Let me just quickly find the news. And I love the way they described it. If I can't find it, I'll move on. There you go. NVIDIA's billion-dollar bet on Finland. So the hottest tech stock of the early 2000s are having a huge day today after OpenAI teamed with PayPal. Just going to talk about that as well. NVIDIA poured $1 billion into Nokia, a couple of why not partnerships that made at least as much sense as Justin Trudeau and Katy Perry. If you can hear the sound of tiny tactile keys clicking faintly on the background, and that's just BlackBerry frantically updating its grinder profile. But anyway, so that's what happened. Also, we had PayPal. PayPal had a collaboration. I think they wanted to be the main payment source for OpenAI. Oh my goodness, look at that. PayPal has just been on the floor. It's been a pathetic company so far, really, in terms of price action, of course. So PayPal hasn't been great, but they had one of their, I mean, it's still closed weaker, to be honest. To be fair, he had one of the best of days, but still closed out weaker. So I still can't see the breakout. So I'm still watching closely. Also, we do have a few other things which I wanted to mention. Ah, Yesterday I talked about job cuts, which happened, 30,000 from Amazon. And then all of a sudden today, I'm just gonna see if I can cut this one right here on the screen. Quite a few corporations announced job losses or job cuts. Is this as a result of AI or we don't know? So not that one. I mean, if I'm just going to go over a few of them. So recent layoffs were announced. We had 48,000 UPS as well. That's jumping on Amazon's 30,000 from yesterday. Intel 24,000, Nestle 16,000, Accenture 11,000, Ford 11,000, Novo Nordisk 9,000, Microsoft 7,000, PwC 5,600, Salesforce, Target, Kroger, Applied Materials, Meta, it kind of makes Meta 600 a measly number, really. Shame about people losing their jobs, unfortunately. But which is why in this day and age, you can't, the same way I don't rely on one broker, you cannot rely on one means of income. You got to diversify as much as possible. Learn a skill, learn a skill, learn a skill outside your rewarding career. That skill will pay your bills. Just on the side note, really. What else do we have? We did have UPS earnings, which was should I just call it a blowout? It was an amazing one. They had a huge pop, and you can see that it was still very strong into the day. I think most people are waiting on tomorrow. So majority of people are waiting on tomorrow. We shall see. Also, tomorrow we do have a rate cut announcement. And someone asked me, gold, why was gold weak? Gold was weak into the day, really. And why was gold weak? Because we thought, right, rate cuts being announced, people will rather, I think people just sell into strength pending the announcement, and we shall see what happens tomorrow. But again, today, gold wasn't really the place to be. It just cut out. But on the other hand, you can see the similar play as well with GU. The sterling was fairly weak as well, and you can see the weakness. I mean, I'm just going to quickly put the line on. I mean, okay, let's just do this right there. So we can see the odd weakness, which has been on for a while. The other thing and then likewise, crude oil, everything was a bit weak, but there's a play, there's a play, there's a play. Just have a look quickly. Crude oil was weak as well today, not a much price action, but I think given the strength from last week, the weakness today was very much welcome. Likewise, my staple here, cocoa, was also was just down from 6,200. We lost about 93 points. But the key thing, which I'm looking at the grains. Look at soybean. Soybean, which I've been abandoning for a while, that picking up. Also corn, which is also picking up. And does that mean, so we can see corn also picking up. Does that mean this is an opportunity for Tyson food? I don't know yet. This is something I'm monitoring on the stock side. So monitoring this, perhaps Tyson might just pick up. And as an investor, look, there's a 3.8% dividend that accompanies this one. So we'll see how it goes. But that's one I'm watching. Once the strength comes in, of course, we can play that in the group. Also, we do have, I think we do have rate call tomorrow. Tomorrow is the D-Day. Meta Meta is announcing. I think Apple is announcing. We do have the heavy lifters. Let me see. Tomorrow, like I said, 20% of the entire market's announcing this week. Tomorrow we have 232. Meta, Google. Sorry, Thursday's Apple. Meta, Google, Microsoft. This is going to be huge. I didn't particularly know how Visa performed today. Well, I think Visa was meant to be today. Yeah, today. I didn't really follow really. But we do have this Caterpillar, ServiceNow, Boeing. So tomorrow is a big, big, big day for for the market tomorrow. And these guys would decide and drive the market. We shall see. Even Starbucks. Starbucks has actually not been a particular good player for a while. But we'll see how it goes anyway. But until then, we play what the market gives us. But based on what I am seeing, though, does it look like there's a weakness coming on? I don't know. The fundamentals are not saying that, but we still have the government shuts down. You know, I tend to always say this as well. We don't get a rate cut except we think the market is being destroyed, but we shall see how it goes. But anyway, so not a lot of action on ground for me today. I think part of what I'm trying to do is just doing a spot buys really, not particular much, not particular levered positions. So you've got to be able to know when to hold, know when to fold, know when to walk away, know when to run, implement different strategies. You don't tend to make money every day, but a lot of times, if you know what you are doing, the market will reward you. But anyway, I shall see you all on the field tomorrow. I will take it again. Have a good night. Bye bye.